Hi Scorpio, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name's Carol, and today I'm going to be doing a reading for you for the first part of February. And in this reading, there's going to be 3 parts. And in the first part of the reading, I'm going to look at where your energy is for the month of February. Maybe you're sitting in a situation, you're having some difficulties, you have decisions to make, something's coming up for you, some patterns showing up in your life. So we're going to look at that. And then what I'm going to do in the second part, I want to look at your shadow. So we're going to do a little bit of shadow work. And if the terms shadow and shadow work are brand new to you, or if you think you know what it is, or you know what it is and you might want some information, I'm going to link in the description box a video that I've done, and it's called my Powerful 4-Step Guide to Shadow Work. And in that guide, there's a lot of information on how to do shadow work, the steps that you can take to do it. And I just talk about, 4 main steps that I've taken myself to go into a really deep dive of shadow work. And shadow work is really healing your stuff. It's going deep into the unconscious and finding out what it is about you that you've hidden from yourself, that you've hidden from the world. And, we all put on these masks and we go out in the world and we think this is who we really are. But the healing journey is all about finding out who you are, getting back to your authenticity, getting back to a purpose. And I know a lot of us are trying to find meaning and trying to find some purpose. And so we're struggling with a lot of this in our lives today. And so I'm hoping that this channel is going to be healing for you. It's a new channel. I just started it in December. So if you're coming back, I'm excited about that. And if you're new, I'd love you to keep coming back and subscribe to my channel. So let's get started with your energy and where you are. I'm going to be using the Light Seers Tarot deck just to pick out 3 cards for my top 3 sections that I'm going to be looking at. I'm going to be clarifying those 3 cards with the Rider-Waite deck. And then what I'm going to do at the end, I'm going to pull a oracle card for you from the Sacred Creators Oracle deck by Chris Ann. And it's amazing how that kind of ties a lot of things up in what I've been talking about, and it sort of validates what I'm saying. So let's get started with your 3 cards. But before we get started, I need to sort of show you an overriding theme that we're going to be working with in February. So back in January, I put out a series of yearly readings for all my signs. And this is what it looks like. This is your sign, Scorpio, right here. And I pulled your card from February. And so in that reading that I did for you, there are 12 cards that I set out, and 1 for each month. And so obviously the card that I pulled for you was the Hermit in February. And that was kind of, at the time when I did it, it's a very general view of what you're sitting with and the energy you're sitting with in February. So what we're going to look at in this reading and in a second reading I'm going to do for you in a couple of weeks is, how this is playing out in your life for you. And so we're going to keep this in mind. I'll probably be referring back to it. And this is the Hermit energy that you're dealing with in February. And the Hermit energy is really an energy of going inwards. And it's that whole idea of, I'd like to think of this card, the Major Arcana card, number 9, is that one that's going inwards. And you're maybe you're doing a deep dive into healing yourself. And this is something that, a lot of us are doing. And the Hermit card really shines a light on your shadow. And it shines a light on it in that it's going to bring up certain emotions. It's going to bring up memories sometimes for those of us have some complex trauma, or, we all have trauma on a continuum. And it's going to bring up some patterns maybe that are repeating, and we're starting to become aware of that. It's also going to bring up some, certain conditionings and belief systems that we've learned growing up as a child and an adolescent. So you're sitting in a period here in February where, maybe you're taking some time out, you're pulling away from maybe some activities you belong in. You might be even isolating a bit. And, you know, on this journey, our healing journey, we really do sometimes need periods where we isolate and we need time out for ourselves just to kind of figure things out, you know, and not to kind of hear those voices that are around us and sort of influencing us. So that's going to be the overriding energy for this month for you. So now what I'm going to do with the Light Seers Tarot, I'm going to ask Tarot to give me 3 cards, and I'm pretty strict on those 3 cards. I just want 1 card for each section for now before I clarify it. So Tarot, if you can give me 1 card right here to tell me where Scorpio is sitting their energy right now, please. 1 card. This one wanted to come out. The 4 of Cups for you has come out for your energy right now. And 1 card, please, for what's coming up in the shadow that's related to this 4 of Cups. What's coming out in the shadow? 1 card for Scorpio, please. I didn't look at it here. Oh, the 3 of Cups in reverse. The 3 of Cups in reverse. And finally, some direction from the tarot, please. Some direction from the tarot. 1 card. Direction from the tarot. Some advice, some guidance from the tarot. 1 card, please. Okay, I'm going to take this first card here that came out, which was the 8 of Pentacles in an upright position. So we're going to put that over here. Now we're going to look at some clarification from the Rider-Waite. Clarification from the Rider-Waite deck. And I like to pick 3 cards. Sometimes, you know, 4 or 5 come out. But, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't take any more than 5. All right, so let's clarify the 4 of Cups. 3 cards, please, to clarify the 4 of Cups. Oh, here comes 1 card. So you get the 9 of Pentacles. The 9 of Pentacles. 2 more cards, please. 2 more cards to clarify the 4 of Cups. I think there's just too many that's come out here, so I'm going to put them all in. 2 more cards, please. Yes, the 3 of Wands in reverse. 3 of Wands. 1 more card, please. Ooh, those flew out. Okay, so the Knight of Wands. And I'm also going to take the 4 of Wands that wanted to come out. It flipped up. So sometimes I like to take the flipped up cards. So we have 4 there. So 3 cards, please, for the shadow. 3 cards to clarify shadow. The 3 of Cups, please. 3 cards. Knight of Pentacles. 2 more cards to clarify the 4 of Cups. So they're the 3 of Cups. 2 more cards. The King of Wands in reverse. 1 more card, please. 1 more card for the shadow for Scorpio. Shadow that's related to, oh, 1 just fell out. The Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune. All right. 8 of Pentacles, please. Clarification for the 8 of Pentacles. 3 cards. The 8 of Swords. The 8 of Swords. All tied up. 8 of Swords. 2 more cards, please. 2 more cards. And oh, too many. And we're almost done here with this. get started. These cards want to come out. Definitely want to come out. They're flying out at me. All right, you have the Death card. One more card. One more card. Here we go. The Justice. Justice. Okay. All right, I think you can see those on my screen. Perfect. Put those up here and move these right down here, and that way you can really get a better look at them. All right. So let's begin. So remember, the Hermit here is sitting in sort of a theme of, February, where you're kind of sitting, doing some self-introspection, some growth, areas of growth, and it looks like you're sitting in a kind of a Four of Cups here energy. A Four of Cups energy, and you can see the look on her face kind of where you're sitting right here. And a lot of times that's so common to sit in that kind of that hopelessness, and maybe, you're contemplating where you've been, what you've been through, how you've led your life so far, having some regrets, looking at those Three of Cups that are spilled. And, in this card, I don't know if you can notice it, but right on the bottom here, there's another cup, and right underneath that cup, there is a hand. So there is a hand from the universe coming out and saying, you know what, here's a chance for you to take a cup, to take an offer, to take a gift of sort of a new way of looking at things, a new way of feeling. Maybe you've been sitting in this kind of hopelessness situation for a bit. And, 'cause some of us I know when I've had bouts of futility myself, I call it futility, hopelessness, depression. It can go on for periods of time where it's like, when is this going to end? And so, I've gone in and out of it and in and out of it in my own healing journey in the last 7 years of intensive healing for my own complex trauma. And I think hopelessness is probably the most difficult feeling to deal with, because you feel so hopeless and you don't see a way out. And it's really hard to even bother accepting that offer from the universe of that one cup and saying, listen, like there is a way out of this. And I know you don't see it right now. I mean, the only way that I get out of my own hopelessness is to journal from my depression and my hopelessness. It's the only way to get out. But here's the problem with that, is that when you're sitting in that shit, that's the last thing you want to do, is to journal from your hopelessness. And so it's a really tough situation to get out of. And I'm seeing that you're sitting in that right now, in this hermit mode that you're in February. And maybe that's where where that's coming from, is you're just not wanting to be around people, not wanting to deal with your life sort of situation. Because you have the Nine of Pentacles here. And, the Nine of Pentacles is sort of, if you look at it, it's that success card. It's that abundance card. So maybe you have experienced success, or maybe you are experiencing abundance. And maybe I'm thinking what say to me, maybe people look at your life as a situation where, yeah, she's got it all, he's got it all. But I'm seeing here that it's not, it's sort of maybe is a facade that you are putting on, because I'm seeing that you feel like you're wanting to do something else. You're wanting sort of to take your life in a different direction, and something that's a bit different for you. The Wands is all about going towards your purpose. It's all about doing what you want to do. It's all about your authenticity, your creativity, and that means taking your life in where you want to go. But it's in reverse, so there is a real blockage to doing that, feeling like you can't do it for some reason. And the Knight of Wands comes in here, and I see that you really want to do that, because the Knight of Wands is, for me, my knights and my decks are all about The freedom fighters. They want to be free. And it's an adolescent part of us. And it's that part of us that wants to be free. It's wands. So they want to be free to take their life into the direction that they want to. So this night is coming up for you, Scorpio, because it's saying, you know, it's asking you what part of your life right now can you experience some freedom where you can start to take your life into that direction, because it seems like that's where you want to go, but you're feeling quite hopeless about the whole situation and whether or not you're able to do that. And this is a general reading, so you're going to know where you are and what direction, what you need to do to take your life right now into that, because they're into that direction. Because here's a real celebration card, and I think this is for you. It looks like, you know, you're really sitting in a hopeless situation, but the universe has brought this card in for you. This is called the marriage card, and it actually, you know, it's a number 4. It deals with stability. And if you look at this situation, there are 2 individuals here in 2 different color clothing, whether, you know, you might call male, female, it doesn't really matter. But for me, what I look at it is it's a masculine and a feminine part of you that we all have, doesn't matter what gender you are. And the whole point of this major arcana of the Fool's Journey that we go through in tarot is to unite those 2 parts of us. And that is the whole point of life really in us, is to get in touch with that feminine aspect of ourselves that really has been repressed in our shadow over the years. And this card, because you're sitting in that, you know, that situation, that hermit mode, it looks like this is a real, almost like a win situation for you, in that you've brought yourself out of a situation here, and maybe this is why you're sitting in this hopelessness, where you have brought yourself out of what looks like a walled city. It's almost like you freed yourself, and you're sitting here maybe with some regrets and wondering if this is the right thing you've done. And this card is saying it is, and because now you're starting to really look at the shadow part of you, the unconscious part of you. So you're really on your way here, it looks like, to realizing that, you know, there is a part of you that's coming up for you to look at, that, you know, that means you're going to start to heal. You're going to start to look at your emotions. You're going to start to put yourself first. And so this is where this is coming up. And a lot of times, you know, we don't really see that, as we don't see ourselves when we've taken a major decision for ourselves. Sometimes we do have regrets because we're not sure if we've done the right thing. So this is where you're sitting right here. Now, in your shadow that's related to this, you have the 3 of Cups. So there's something in your shadow right here that's in reverse, the 3 of Cups. The 3 of Cups is all about creativity in the upright position. It's all about working together with other people. And it really is a celebration card, this feminine part of us that's being celebrated here. And so I think, you know, you need to look at, you know, the work that you've been doing on yourself, Scorpio, and working on your emotions. But there's a sort of a denial, or to see that about yourself. Obviously, it's hard to see because you're sitting in this kind of hopeless situation, hopeless mood, hermit mode that you're sitting in. And the first card that comes to us that's coming up in your shadow is the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles, like I said, the Knight is that, and this is your second Knight here, is, so, you know, it screams for freedom. This Pentacle one really wants freedom to get back into their body, wants freedom to feel, wants freedom to, maybe freedom in, it talks about your workspace too. It talks about your health. And so this is really saying here that in your shadow, there's something coming up about the freedom to do what you want, the freedom to follow the path that you want to go into. And it talks a lot about work here. Maybe you are considering working with other people, starting a project, inviting other people to come on, board with you in a certain work situation. But there's a real freedom here that wants to come out and do what they want to do, and maybe that's in your workspace area, it looks like. The King of Wands comes after that, and that is, it's in reverse. And the Wands, like I said, it's all about your creativity. It's all about taking your life where you want. But this is an ungrounded king. This is the ungrounded part of us, the masculine part of us that's in reverse here. And the Wands would be all about listening to our intuition, going inwards and going back in our bodies here, the freedom to go back in our bodies and listen to our intuition so that we can hear the whispers of our intuition that wants to guide us. So it sounds like there is an intuitive younger part of you that wants freedom, that wants to take their life in a different direction or has done it. But the King of Wands in reverse comes out and says, no, this intuition stuff, that's bullshit. There's no such thing as listening to your intuition. You use your mind, not your gut. And doesn't believe in that creative part where you can really take your life in a different direction and do what you want to do. And the King of Wands wouldn't believe in, leaving a job, for example, to take on a path to follow a path that is really where your heart's taking you. Because the King of Wands would say, no, that wouldn't be a wise decision. You can't make money from being creative or following your heart. And so this is what's sort of in your shadow, these belief systems where maybe somebody has told you that, no, you wouldn't make money doing this, or this is really a silly idea to do this. And the Wheel of Fortune is coming out to tell me that, there has been a change of circumstance in your own shadow, because this is what you were told when you were younger. And so there was probably a part of you that, it could be an adolescent part of you here that wanted to take your job, that wanted to take you into a certain direction. Your heart was involved, but, there was somebody that said, no, that's not the right way to go. And then you took a different direction. It's that clear to me. And so this Three of Cups, I guess, kind of speaks to me again, saying kind of like, there wasn't that support or that validation that you needed when you were younger that would have come together and support you and validate you, because the Three of Cups is about that. That's like working with people. And so there's a lack of validation here and a lack of support that you had, a lack of support that you had, that is sitting in your shadow right now, that has really stopped you from taking your life into the direction that you wanted to do when you were younger. And a lot of us don't even know sometimes what we wanted to do. And we don't even know what's hidden in our shadow. A lot of people think that our shadow is just these emotions that we have to face and these scary memories. And yeah, it's true. But we also have to face some belief systems in there that we buried that told us that, we can't go in that certain direction. We're not allowed to go in that certain direction. And also there's some gifts that we have, because those gifts maybe did come out when we were younger and we were told, no, that's not the direction you're supposed to take. You're going to take this direction. Because I see that the advice from the tarot, the overriding card here is the Eight of Pentacles. Look at this woman in this card. She's doing what she loves to do. And she has a smile on her face, and she's very much into her work. And this is what this Eight of Pentacles is all about. It's doing the thing that you want to do, and that's taking your life in a creative direction. And so the tarot is encouraging you now 2, go there. Take your life in that direction. Go where you want to go. You know, even though when you were younger, you were told, no, don't go there. And now it's saying it's time. It's time for you to do. It's not time to put you first. Time to do what you want to do, Scorpio. Oh, but the mental anguish that's coming out in your head. And you're feeling all tied up with these 8 of Swords. And I know what it's like when you have to make that huge decision of taking your life in a different direction. And you just feel like you see no way out. I mean, look at this individual right here. She's blindfolded. She can't see any way out, but she doesn't realize that she can just walk away, right? She just sees no way out. But there is a way out. You can just walk away. And the 2 cards that come out for you, these 2 major arcana cards that come out for you in the end are powerful, powerful cards here. The first one is the Death card. And then the other one is the Justice card. Very powerful beside each other. The Death card says, you know, sometimes when we want to take our life in a new direction and we're feeling all tied up, not knowing what to do, just in our heads, because, you know, in your shadow, you're hearing, especially from the King of Wands here, it's almost like you hear the people that told you this message when you were younger, you know, whether it's a parent that's saying, no, you can't do this. No, you're not allowed to do this. No, that wouldn't make you money. That's a stupid idea. What are you thinking about? And those are the messages that you're hearing with this 8 of Wands that's keeping you all tied up in your head, right? And so you're living from your head and you're hearing these messages. And what this Death card is saying, and I don't want you to get scared about it, because this comes up on the journey when sometimes we need to lose some people. And that may mean, and that's on a continuum. So that may mean taking, you know, keeping distance from certain people or certain things. And it may mean actually going no contact with certain people, right? So you do lose people on this journey, unfortunately. And sometimes, a lot of times on this journey, you find yourself, when you're in need of making this big change for yourself, there is a need to, you know, go inwards and isolate a bit from other people, or just take a distance from them, right? And that's where the Death card comes in, because if you're around someone that is really invalidating you or not supporting this new direction right here that you want to take your life in, where you want to do what you want to do because that's what's going to bring you pleasure, then it's time to, you know, move away from these people and let them go a bit. And like I said, it's on a continuum. So you need to decide what you need to do. And a lot of times if it's the original people that told you couldn't do this and they're still not going to support you, sometimes it is necessary just to let them go. But that's up to you. It's a general reading. But this is saying that, you know, you're feeling all tied up in your head. And maybe these people are still telling you that this is stupid, this is dumb, why would you want to do this? And this Death card comes in and says, no, it's time to take some distance here. It's time to think about you. Because the Justice card comes in, right? The Justice wants to bring balance to this situation. And the Justice has this sword here that's going to cut through the bullshit. It's going to bring what's authentic and what's true in this situation for you. And that's a card that ends beautifully. And that's what's going to happen once you start to go in the direction you want to go. Let some of these people go. Take distance from, you know, keep your distance a bit from some of these people that are not supporting you. And sometimes we need to take this journey alone when we want to do something else for ourselves. And the Justice comes in and says, that's what's going to give you, that's what's going to bring balance to the situation. That's where you're going to find out who you really are, right? And what you really want to do. And that's where you're going to get your power from the sword. So a beautiful reading for you here, Scorpio. I'm going to end it now with an oracle card from the Sacred Creators Oracle for you. for the first part of February. So something for Scorpio here. One card for Scorpio, and then I'll read your little blurb. One. Oh, here's one that's overturned. Here we go. Finally. All right, so what you got is the sacred flow of yes. So that's card number 30. The sacred flow of yes. Have you ever noticed how happy, optimistic people have all the luck? And how the haves keep winning at bingo, while the have-nots just keep encountering barrier after unfortunate barrier on their path? Like a stream of helpful energy, the sacred flow of yes is being where you're meant to be. When you are on the right wave, you are on it. You are so completely enveloped in your right vibe that it practically whooshes everything you need right into your lap. It brings a whole lot of easy flow. Yes to a new contract. Yes to a better price. Yes to a dinner date. It's time to act like water and flow around any problems you may be experiencing. You may be forcing your way upstream right now and stubbornly pushing into a dam that's meant to guide you toward a more prosperous path. Since I know you're not a salmon, there's no need to be swimming into headwaters right now. Instead, flow around the gates of not yet by finding the path of least resistance. The sacred flow of yes is like a river. So remember that rocks are only put in your way as markers meant to nudge you toward your simplest solution, not as challenges meant to be dominated or controlled. Wow. That is definitely a card for you. So I love the part about, taking the path, finding the path of the least resistance right now and just allowing it to flow. Yes. And allow the universe to come in with that, the fourth cup over here where the universe offered you that cup, and just allow it to take you where it wants to take you and sort of trust the flow of the universe. And so this card is really saying yes to where you want to go. And it was a beautiful card to end this. So good luck, Scorpio. I'll see you in a couple weeks. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.